Which hoop shoe is better, the GT Cut 2s or the GT Cut 3s? The results may surprise you, or they might not. So yeah, off rip, let's talk about that traction. The GT Cut 3s feature this zigzag / herringbone like traction pattern, and the materials, I want to say it's like this semi-soft, translucent Nike rubber. Nothing special, nothing crazy. I wouldn't recommend it for outdoor use because the grooves aren't that deep and the rubber is pretty soft. So don't do that, but indoor use, these will be fine. Now, in regards to performance, I'm gonna keep it simple. These things performed amazing. I play on a really dusty court. These still caught grip in every single direction. A little bit of wipage, fixed all your issues. So overall, phenomenal performance in the traction section. So let's put these to the side and talk about these babies. So for the traction pattern, they feature this herringbone-like traction pattern in the forefoot with a little bit of triangular action up there, alongside more triangular action in the heel, which again, I don't know why they would do that and not just do the whole thing herringbone. And the materials of this is a harder translucent Nike rubber with fairly deep grooves. So I'd say for outdoor use, if you're looking for an outdoor shoe, check these babies out. Now, in regards to the performance of the GT Cut 2s, I was actually a fan of the traction. You will see a lot of mixed reviews online. A lot of people, some people hated it. Some people thought the traction was non-existent. Me personally, I thought the traction was good. Performed really good. Picked up less dust than the GT Cut 3s, but again, that's a little bit of wipage. Overall, me likey. Now, putting these head to head, I would easily say that in regards to traction, the GT Cut 3s are better. But with that being said, I will say, if you're talking about outdoor use, GT Cut 2 is hands down just because it will be way more durable. But for indoor use, any other use, hands down, GT Cut 3's grippy. Now let's talk about the cushion. The GT Cut 3s, they use this cushioning technology that has never been used before in a basketball shoe. It's only been used in running shoes, and that technology is Zoom X. Overall, you will see a lot of mixed reviews online about how some people feel about the Zoom X. Me personally, I am a big fan. I will say it did take a little bit of break-in time. Prior to that break-in time, it did feel a little iffy, but after that break-in time, I would compare these to like a Wade 10 with a little less bounce, which if you don't know, Wade 10, best cushioning in a basketball shoe ever. So overall, man, I'm gonna stop glazing. Love this basketball shoe's cushion. I could definitely see Nike using Zoom X in like every up-and-coming basketball shoe known to man. Now the GT Cut 2 cushioning setup is a little bit more complicated than just full-length Zoom X. These babies feature full-length Nike React alongside a hex zoom unit in the heel, alongside full-length Zoom Strobel. Overall, pretty solid setup. I've always been a big fan of the Nike React. One of my favorite basketball shoes of all time, the Converse BB Evos have full-length Nike React. Me likey, very similar to that. Provides very good court feel, a little firmer than the Zoom X, but still a phenomenal cushioning setup. And now, to the conclusion, while both of these have very good cushion setups, I gotta go with the GT Cut 3s. Surprise, surprise, when they made the GT Cut 3s, they upgraded the cushion setup, and this was kind of a no-brainer in my eyes. That full-length Zoom X, man, I just don't see these competing with them at all. So, Zoom X, me likey. Now, let's talk about the support. On the GT Cut 3s, they feature this lateral TPU piece in the forefoot alongside some flywire to add some of that support in the front of your shoe. On top of this, there's a heel counter in the back, shank plate in the bottom, and then some TPU to cage in that Zoom X and add a little extra support on your step. So that's about all the technology for the support. Also in this section, I talk about the fit, and these are 100% true to size. So let's put these babies down, talk about the GT Cut 2s. Now the support tech on this shoe is pretty much this TPU piece in the back. That's kind of a heel counter alongside a shank plate in the bottom. Now, aside from that, there's not much. And something I will say is this shoe really did not have the best lockdown. Something I really don't like about this shoe is the lacing setup or the tongue. It's like separate from the shoe as a whole. I really just didn't feel like you had the best lockdown in this shoe overall. So, you know what, man? Support, lacking in the GT Cut 2s. So no brainer, what a surprise. The GT Cut 3s easily sweep the GT Cut 2s in regards to support. And real quick, I know it might seem like an absolute demolishing right now and the GT Cut 3s are way better, so you can stop watching, but watch a little longer and trust me, things get spicier. Now let's talk about materials. The GT Cut 3s have an upper that is made up of what they call a textile upper, but I think it's more of like a foam. It's super lightweight, but adds some support and feels really high quality. Super breathable, super comfortable. From the tongue to the, oh my God, all of it, me likey. And then like I mentioned earlier, the outsole is made up of that semi-soft, traditional, translucent Nike rubber. And that's about it in regards to the materials on these babies. Now for the GT Cut 2s, they feature a similar textile upper that is super lightweight, but I will say these feel tiny bit cheaper. On top of this, they got a little leather on the back, and then like I mentioned earlier, the outsole made up of a lot harder than these babies.
I like it hard.
So overall, man, in regards to materials, I like the upper materials way more on these babies, but I like the traction materials way more on these babies. So I'm going to go ahead and give this a tie in regards to materials. Next, let's talk about the look slash swag. In this section, we just compare the shoes silhouettes, the colorways in hand, and then the best colorways currently available. Now the GT Cut 3s, I've said this a million times, I think are super clean. They remind me of almost like a modern pack-a-punch version of the GT Cut 1s, which were one of my favorite looking basketball shoes of all time. The colorway I have in hand is this white and red. They don't call it anything special, I call it the Cardinal, but it's just a white and red colorway, really basic. I'm probably gonna return these. But some of the cleanest colorways on the market currently are the purple and gray. I might have to snag those, and the All-Star colorway, which is super clean and unique. Let me know down below which one your favorite is, but me personally, that All-Star colorway got me. All insanely fire. Now the GT Cut 2s, I am also a big fan of the silhouette. They don't look anything like the GT Cut 3s or the GT Cut 1s, which have strong resemblance. They're kind of on their own, but I kind of like that. In hand, I have this Enrique colorway, I think is what it's called. It's a WNBA player that I think plays for Chicago, wears number 24. It's got a cute little like city skyline on the back. Really clean colorway, in my opinion, the best GT Cut 2 colorway ever. And to mention some of my other favorite colorways of the GT Cut 2s, there's also like that strawberry lemonade colorway, which is super clean, and that like highlight pink colorway, which is also super clean. If you couldn't tell, I love me some pink hoop shoes. Now overall, I think the GT Cut 3s have a better looking silhouette. I think this model just looks super clean, super modern, me likey. But I will say that the GT Cut 2s have better colorways out right now. So it's super close, but I think the GT Cut 2s finally win a section in regards to the look slash swag. And then the last section we rate it on is the weight. And now this, I'm going to be super brief. These babies heavy, these babies not heavy. They win. Now overall, which shoe is better? The GT Cut 2s or the GT Cut 3s? Surprise, I'm going to actually say that the GT Cut 3s are way better. In almost every aspect, the GT Cut 3s are a huge upgrade from the 2s, and I don't think there's a single aspect about the 2s that are better other than the look slash swag rating, which, again, give this some time, way more fire colorways are going to be coming out. From the traction, to the cushion, to the support, to the materials, every little piece about this is better. The only thing that the GT Cut 2s may have on them is outdoor use. If you're looking for an outdoor shoe, those would both be cheaper and better performing for outdoors. So bang, that's it, man. Let me know if you guys like this video, what other verses you guys would like to see, or any video for that matter. I appreciate y'all for watching this far, because not a lot of people do. If you could like, comment, subscribe, I'd appreciate it. Hope you guys have a good one. I'm going to do my best to. Adios.